Hello, everyone. It's Catherine Maley, author of Your Aesthetic Practice, and I am your patient coordinator, trainer, and coach. So if this is your first call, welcome. If you're old school and you've been here a long time, hello, how's it going? I know it's crazy right now. So we're not going to do our usual Q&A. There's only one discussion going on right now, and that's the COVID-19 virus situation. I'm calling it a situation because I don't want to, oversell it like the media does, but boy, it's a darn big deal. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. So let's just jump right in. I'm in Sausalito, so I've been in shelter in place actually for a really long time. Like this is our third or fourth week. I can't even remember anymore. And now we got word, I'm not sure anymore who's what, but we personally got word over here in California that we're still under shelter in place until April 30th. I believe maybe all of us are now. And then it could go longer. So we just have to deal with that. So this is not business as usual. So what we're going to try, I'm going to give you some ideas here to help us get through this, okay? Because right now, everyone's saying is, so what do we do? You know, in our industry, what do we do? And I'm attending the medical society conferences. They're trying to figure it out. And this is a challenge. You're not allowed to touch anybody. So how in the world are you going to do what you do? It's a challenge. So here are a couple of ideas. Number one, if you are not doing it currently, you have got to offer virtual consultations. And you can make this as complicated as you want or as easy as you want. Now, a lot of you already do I'll talk about that too. I'm going to suggest that you offer free virtual consultations during this time. You can go back to charging later, but right now I do believe it should be free. And you can keep it as simple as just doing a FaceTime with somebody. The limitations there are not everyone has an iPhone, and FaceTime only works if you both have iPhones. And also the screen is super small. So I personally would do what I'm doing right now, which is video conferencing. I know some of you are not familiar with the technology, but you know what? Now's the perfect time to figure it out because you've got time and you've got downtime. And I personally use zoom.us. I think it's the easiest platform. We have the least technical glitches with this platform. We like it a lot. So I'm going to recommend that one, zoom.us. There are all sorts of them. You can still use like Google Hangouts or what's that other one? Skype. But however, with those, there can be some technical issues. Wait, could everyone mute themselves? There are some technical issues there. I've noticed that let me go ahead and mute everybody. Okay. With Skype, I've noticed like you can go in and out a lot. And because the internet bandwidth right now is out of control, thank God we still have internet access. But I mean, I'm on calls with, I was on calls with ISAPS, and there were 2,600 doctors all over the globe on that call. And there was so much buffering going on. It was hard to listen because there was a lot of pausing because the internet was trying to catch up. Anyway, use something that you're familiar with or learn a new platform. Now, some of you are a little anxious about HIPAA. By the way, the HIPAA rules have been relaxed tremendously during this time because the world's turned upside down. So I wouldn't get all caught up on HIPAA stuff right now. But I think as far as I'm concerned, just like we do with the telephones, you know, when you record your calls and you say this call will be recorded for training purposes, we'll do the same thing on your virtual consults. Just say, by the way, Sue, I'd like to record this. Are you okay with that? And then you get her verbal approval and you're good to go. But if you are getting caught up on the HIPAA stuff and you want to do it right, there is a new website that people have been talking about called Doxy. DOXY, and it's a video conferencing platform. It is free, but it's telemedicine, so I don't know how bureaucratic it is. I don't know how easy it is to use, but that's what people have been talking about. Now, the reason we're offering free right now is free virtual consultations. This thing won't move. All we're doing right now during this chaos is building a list of interested cosmetic patients to work with once we get over this hump and we get back to some sort of normalcy and plastic surgery and vanity comes back big time, we are not selling right now. I highly recommend, please don't sell right now. It's in poor taste. Most of us on that Pavlov's hierarchy of needs, most people are back to, where am I going to sleep, eat, what am I going to eat? How am I going to pay for anything? A lot of people have been, laid off and that kind of thing. So right now is not the right time. Soon, but not right now. So all you want to focus on is building that list. The only way you're going to be able to build that list and get them to do something is to at least talk to you, with a virtual consultation. And that way they get to know you better now online. So they're much more apt to stick with you when things get good again. So just educate right now. And that's all I would do. I would call this phase 1, educate, and then a little entertainment. So did you know right now the email open rates have skyrocketed? And doesn't that make sense? Because now we all have a minute to breathe and we do have time to go through emails. So that's what we're doing for our clients. We always have done for you marketing services, but all we're doing right now is doing content on email and social posts. And then you want to keep your current patients updated. So everyone's got a patient list of emails. Keep them updated on what's going on in your practice. You're closed. You better be closed. I hope you're all staying at home. But just educate them on things you would normally educate them on in person. And then you want to be posting regularly on Instagram and Facebook. I know some of the international people on the call, you're real big on WhatsApp and what else do you use? WhatsApp is kind of a big one. I can't think of another one. Anyway, whatever you need to do or whatever channels you normally use to communicate with your patients online, double up on that, but please no promotion right now, just education. For example, here's a typical email that we're sending out right now. And do you see how right now you're just entering the conversation the patient is already having in their head? And that is, what is going on with this COVID-19 virus? What do I do? Or I'm sitting around bored. That's another group. A lot of cosmetic patients or would-be cosmetic patients are sitting around doing nothing and they're online searching. And so this is a really good time to offer Q&A with the doctor. Oh dear, I don't know what that sound was. Hey Casey, can you mute everybody please? So in this email, we're trying to do a couple things here. We want to do Q&A because we want them to interact with the doctor online. And then we also are sending them to Facebook and Instagram. That's your best bet now. You want to build up your social presence and you want your email cosmetic patient list to grow your social list, right? So make sure you're sending them over, hey, like us on Facebook or ask us a question on Facebook. Also give them an update on what's going on in your office or in your home. Make sure that they want to stay in touch. And so we want them to like you on Facebook. And then we also want to keep reminding them that we offer virtual free consultations right now. And I highly, highly recommend you do the same. All right. Now, for educational posts, of course, the virtual consultations are good posts, but also here are some others. If you want to put on your reviews, make them nice looking reviews. And the goal right now is to get in front of your current patients so they don't forget about you, as well as new prospective patients. And you can do that with reviews, like just show them some reviews. And here's a cute idea. A surgeon and his wife are doing the Q&A. So they're collecting the questions and then his wife's going to be answering the questions and she's going to be asking and then he'll be answering. And that's kind of cute. I also saw somebody else do, the wife was asking questions at home. And so they were asking funny questions to the plastic surgeon and the kids were involved. And they were saying who's your favorite child? What do you do for a hobby? What do you do at home when when you have off time? Would you rather get up early or stay up late? Just fun things like that. But the educational ones, I think you want to stay here. When I say educational, I don't mean promote stuff. I just mean do Q&A, let the audience run the conversation. Let them tell you what they're interested in, and keep an eye on that, because if they keep asking the same kinds of questions, what you want to do next is pull out your iPad and find a place in your home and just do some educational promotion or procedural videos with Q&A. So for example, you can just say, you know what, I've been getting a lot of questions about the downtime for liposuction. So let me just give you a straight answer on that, and then give them an answer that you would normally give during consultations. I don't mean you, I mean the doctor. By the way, where you fit into this as the coordinator, if you are doing virtual consultations, I would do the same thing I recommend you do during our lessons here. I would, you the coordinator would answer that request immediately. So I hope you have an office cell phone at home, or somehow you're notified when somebody asks a question or requests a virtual consult. And then as the coordinator, you want to call them right away, text them, email them. But what you want to do is your pre-consult call, because you want to qualify them. You're going to get, a lot of fluff, because that's just what happens when you put out your, message to the world. So that's why you want to pre-qualify a bit. Just simple things. At the moment, the first step is what's their name, what's their cell phone, what's their email, period. You have to get those three things. Now on an additional, and hopefully you got that already when they requested the consult. And now during the pre-consult call, do what you normally do. What procedure are you interested in? Don't do like, when were you thinking about having this done, obviously, and forget about that right now. But you do want to ask a couple questions like, same thing. Is your husband going to be involved? Make sure he's on the virtual consult with you. And also things like, try to find height and weight, so you're getting clear about their BMI, and then do a little like medical, just a little, like what kind of medications you're on, anything that would prohibit them from being a good cosmetic surgical patient. You might as well find that out now. And then set it up so you pre-frame the doctor. I would send ahead of time, meet the doctor, and I would have him doing a welcome video. Hi, I look forward to talking to you soon on our virtual consultation. Please relax. Let's just get to know each other, and let's, let me understand what your needs are, and I'll give you some recommendations. And then there's always that caveat. My recommendations are just recommendations until we meet in person. So always give yourselves that out, so they don't hold you to it, because it's still virtual. And then when the doctor does his thing, you come back and now you give the quote just like you normally do. And then you'll be in charge of staying in touch with them. And that's why you want to get back to sending out emails and adding them to your social posts to keep in touch with them. Okay. And then you also want to do some entertaining posts. I'm watching on Instagram. I don't know if you know what, it's a really good lesson right now. Watch Instagram and watch the surgeons and watch what they're doing. Some of them have decided to jump right in and offer pre-packaged discounts on surgery if you prepay, and they're getting clobbered. I'm verbally from the colleagues and from the audience. I don't think it's a good idea. And then some of them are just being really funny and like trying to make light of it. There's a balance there. I'd be careful with it. It's not a funny time, but sometimes you just have to have some humor to this. But I really like these. There was a doctor in his kitchen, and he was talking about how much he loves to cook, and he's literally cooking, like apparently he's cooking while he's home now. So he's always in his kitchen cooking. And I think that's so great, because it just shows a different side of him. And then there was another doctor, he was in his, he has his own workout room at home. So he was showing how he works out. And your doctor, your surgeon can do the same thing. They can, I'll leave that up to you guys, but it's very nice when you're educating and entertaining, because the point is to show your surgeon as more than a surgeon. Because right now, it's tough to talk about surgery. So why not let the patients get to know your surgeon as a husband, a father, a dog lover, a cook, a meditator, like whatever. Show new facets of the surgeon. And by the way, you could be doing this yourself. I have seen some coordinators go online and do some IG TV, and they're just doing some quickies saying, by the way, we're open for virtual consultations. I'd love to talk to you and set you up with the doctor. So if you want to do something like that, I think it goes a long way, because you want the patients to get to know you as well as the surgeon. So have at it if you do. You could also think about this. One thing I know for a fact is Facebook. You know how they've been terrible about privacy? Well, I watched a Zuckerberg video on privacy as their new theme. Isn't that interesting? Because they were not about privacy. They know everything about all of us in every great detail. So now they're talking about privacy. And that means they're setting up tribes of people with similar interests. So this could be a good time to start your own Facebook group on plastic surgery. And that means you invite people to join you, but don't invite everybody. The point is exclusivity. You just want people in that group who love plastic surgery, love you, or would love you if they knew you better. And then they want to invite their friends who also love plastic surgery. Basically, it's kind of like your own little real self group, and it can grow exponentially internally. It'll grow internally out. So you invite some people, you certainly invite your own patients, but you don't force them. You just invite them and then let them come if they want, because this has to be a group that wants to be there. But here's the caveat. As the coordinator, you might want to offer this to help preserve your position and help the surgeon market. The biggest fear right now of surgeons is, how am I going to make any money? How am I going to survive this? If you can show that you have some new skills and you can be a real asset to the surgeon to grow your practice in the interim, so you can hit the ground running when we get back to normal, and you can show you now have a Facebook group of, hundreds of prospective patients, that will go a long, long way. So all you do is you go online and you Google Facebook groups, and it takes time. You have to study it. How do you do this? But it might be well worth it. Okay, so that is that. And then I highly recommend, I love this saying, for things to get better, you have to get better. And that's from Jim Rohn. He was one of my online motivation. He actually trained Tony Robbins. That's how old school he was. I mean, he's gone now, but he was just great. He was my very first sales mentor. And isn't he right about that? For things to get better, you have to get better. Don't wait for the government to get better. Don't wait for the weather to get better or this to get better. This is the perfect time to learn and grow, build new skills, and become more of an asset. The way you become valuable to your surgeon is to know something that he doesn't or she doesn't know, or to somehow bring a skill that's going to help them now and in the future. So that's why I do so much of this educational stuff myself. If you watch me do it, the reason I have a pretty good name out there in the industry is I have relentlessly given away free content forever. So I have a ton of YouTube videos. They're at Catherine Maley MBA. I think that's YouTube for Catherine Maley MBA. And then I have that podcast, and I've got so many subjects in there, and I've been interviewing the doctors on COVID-19 to get their take on it. So why don't you check that out? And the podcast is called Beauty in the Biz, but you can get to it through my regular website, catherinemaley.com. Seriously, this is the time for you to either watch Netflix all day, or, which sounds great, doesn't it? But it won't be for your future. Your best bet is to at least allot hours a day to bettering your best. Highly, highly recommend it. And also, please rewatch the videos. You've got 24 videos in there. It's got the quizzes. We're not doing the metrics right now because, there aren't any surgery or coordinate or consultations right now. However, if this is a really good time for you to go through the videos again and map out a new process for your consultations, or go through the videos and think as a virtual consult, how would you tweak this? And then if you want, I'm happy to do some calls with you because I'm still around. I'm sitting still like everybody else. And we used to do bi-weekly coaching calls. Those are still on. I haven't gone anywhere. So if you want, if you want to talk about this, virtual consults, or how to tweak your consultation process for when things get better, let's talk. Casey's always available to you at 415-851-0172. And you can text her or call her, and she can set that up for you. So that is that. I know it's a little early this time because I don't want to talk about anything else right now. All I want to talk about is this is your opportunity to grow your list and better your best. And those are my thoughts. So if you have any feedback, please, you can always, you can also text at that same number. That's convenient. Or you can email Casey at info@catherinemaley.com, and we will be in touch. Stay safe, stay home, and stay hungry. I just made that up just now. But stay hungry to better your best. Get good at what you do and get even better by growing and learning and sharpening your saw. All right? Stay healthy. Take care.